Morning to you, Derson. It looks like a lovely day in Durban, very tempting for everyone to go out and enjoy these 3 hours of exercise. But I think those who follow you on Twitter would have seen far too many people out this morning for an area that's supposed to be closed.
Exactly, and I think the most concerning thing, Gareth, is the number of cars that you would have seen in that video that I posted on Twitter, because it then asked the question, if people were exercising within 5 kilometers of where they live, then why did they have to drive here? And that was one of the things that came up as we were talking to those joggers and cyclists that were running down this promenade earlier today. They seemed to misunderstand the 5 kilometer rule and insisted that they had driven within 5 kilometers of their homes and then had started their exercise time here between 6 and 9. But it seems like confusion is the order of the day, because after we had done that crossing earlier this morning, there was also a statement that had come out saying, from the municipality, saying that this area is in fact completely closed and there shouldn't be anyone here at all, even during 6 to 9 o'clock. And we were told in that statement that the promenade is in fact closed until further notice. But shortly after that, I also received information from two people who were privy to these discussions that were going on. And they were saying to me that it seems like the promenade will not be closed. It'll be reopened. And I've been trying to verify that for the last hour or so with the communications department for the municipality. And I'll show you the last correspondence that I received. I sent a message to Mantla and Sele from the eThekwini communications unit, and I asked him, just wanted to confirm, has the statement been retracted? Is the promenade open? And he doesn't answer that directly, but he says we will start disinfecting the promenade in the next hour. Depending on the progress to be made, we'll update later today. So it sounds a lot like there could be yet another change.
I was about to say, this is where it's going to start getting very confusing. People are now allowed to go out and exercise for this limited time every morning, but the communication, it seems, in that municipality isn't clear on where people can go. Unless people know exactly where they can and where they can't, many would argue you can't blame them for wanting to go to one of the most beautiful places in that part of Durban.
Exactly, and this is what I foresee is going to happen tomorrow as well, unless this is something that is rectified today and unless that message spreads far and wide. Practically speaking, Gareth, the people that could be exercising here are really those that live along the beachfront. You'll know that there are a lot of apartment buildings in this part of town, and basically anyone who could walk here within 5 kilometers of wherever they live. But it seems that people have been coming from much further than that. I spoke to some policemen earlier that said they had stopped people that had driven out here from Hillcrest, and Hillcrest is about 40 minutes or 45 minutes away from where I am now. So certainly something that needs to be clarified, and I really do hope that the municipality comes out with the final word on whether people will be allowed here tomorrow from 6 to 9 o'clock.
All right, so let's just focus on why that promenade has been closed. I'll tell you why I'm asking, Derson, because after this we're going to bring viewers an update from the Sea Point promenade, where that clearly is open. Why is the promenade closed during the lockdown? We know the beaches are closed, people can't go onto the actual sand, but why is that promenade closed?
Well, the promenade was closed because this is an area that is generally quite congested. You have a lot of restaurants around here. It is a place where people exercise. There's a lot of foot traffic on this particular area, especially where I am right now, and it's just generally quite busy. But the other reason why, according to the information that we're receiving, why the promenade will have to be closed now, or rather remain closed until it's reopened, is because it also has to be disinfected. One wonders how that will happen, because this is a large area, and I also have to ask the question of how long will it take for that to actually happen.
And the question as well, and I'm not sure if this has been brought up in your part of the country, is how do the authorities try and manage and verify where people are coming from? Anybody could easily get on a bicycle and ride 15, 20 kilometers to get to that area. How do they prove where they're living? It becomes a huge logistical issue, doesn't it?
That is the biggest loophole here, and I think the president and the country is really just relying on a certain degree of honesty. Even police themselves, we've been engaging with a lot of them. You know, we've been out at roadblocks, we've been here, and we've been talking to them about exactly how they're doing that. They can't possibly stop every person and stop every vehicle and get a proof of address to find out. So they are relying largely on people being honest, but it seems like that is still proving to be a problem. Some of the policemen that we spoke to earlier said that where possible they are asking people if they have a utility bill that they could produce to show where it is that they live. But again, some people are just saying, look, I'll bring it along the next time, or give me a chance this time. But there are fines that they will have to pay if they are found to be far away from where they live. But Gareth, I'll just bring in something that I spoke to the Transport MEC about yesterday when we were at a roadblock, and he said that 15,000 people, almost 16,000 people had been arrested for not complying with those laws of confining themselves to their place of residence. And it just shows you then that in many ways there are those that are still not taking this seriously.
Certainly seems like it. Des and Tathia, thank you very much indeed. More from him later in the day. Also go